यार एक बार सर का देखना नीचे, सुनिए ना, सर का नीचे जब ब्रेक हो तो बताना आप। दो लो, आप लो, कॉफी लो। प्लीज Alt+8 1। हेलो हेलो, गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड आफ्टरनून मानसा। गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड आफ्टरनून साई, दर्शक, तेजस्वी, गुड आफ्टरनून बेटा। अया यशोदा, गुड आफ्टरनून। चरण, गुड आफ्टरनून बेटा। गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड आफ्टरनून अंजलि, गुड आफ्टरनून दीपक, दीपिका, संतोष, गुड आफ्टरनून। लक्ष्मी साई, गुड आफ्टरनून। सुमांत, गुड आफ्टरनून। यस मेघना, गुड आफ्टरनून। संजय, गुड आफ्टरनून। Yes, yes. Vaishnavi, good afternoon. Okay, my name is Kumar Pradeep Singh. Did you get it? Good afternoon, Naveen. Anusha, good afternoon. So how is your study going on? Sir, we are from, yeah, good, well, nice. Bagundi. Gopu, Deepka. Okay, fine. Fine, fine. Now only we started, sir. Lakshmi Sai. Great, great. Hello, good afternoon, beta. Good afternoon, Akshay. Good afternoon, Saden Ali. I am from Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh. I am from Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh. Sai Kirth, good afternoon. Varnokya, good afternoon. So I hope you are all doing well. Everyone is safe at your place. Can you say your names? It is Kumar Pradeep Singh. It is Kumar Pradeep Singh. Pradeep, right? Any one of you who can help write my name in the chat? Yeah, not, it's not Kumar. Yes, that is right. Varnokya, Kumar Pradeep. Not Kumar, it's Kumar. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. That's enough. That's enough. Bhavani, good afternoon, beta. We are still having 5 minutes. If you want to ask anything in chat, you can. And it was sincere request from you guys. Son, can you say your qualification? That I were you Mansa? Yes, Mansa. Ritesh, good afternoon. So I am graduated from IIT Kanpur in mechanical engineering. Ritesh, good afternoon. Deepika, collector. So you want to become collector, right? Good afternoon, beta. Dharam Soth. Okay, 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 okay. I need to gain subject. Okay. I'll be helping you. I'll be helping you. Just keep remembering or try to remember the important definitions which I have told you in previous classes. Yes, Chaturya, good afternoon. Just remember few things, not all. Yes, I am. I have already started with basic. Is it your first class, Saden Ali? Is it your first class? Yes, Redmi 8. Good afternoon, Ritesh. Yes, good afternoon. Which subject? It is chemistry. See, NCERT and JEE. Basically, the paper of mains is designed by on the basis of NCERT, but for advance they go beyond IIT JEE, and there are few chapters which they do not ask in advance. Okay, so that there is a little bit of difference. In advance they go in depth, but in JEE mains they will be basically covering NCERT. So in chemistry, I was late study class. Okay. No issues. I am already teaching basics, and the things which I am discussing in these classes, all of these things will be coming in the topics of the 11th and 12th. And that time also we will be discussing these things. Okay, right? Like diffusion, like latent heat. Okay, so these are some very important and frequently occurring concepts. Good afternoon, Virendra. Anjali, which books can I? Polytechnic, why you aren't you preparing for JEE and NEET? Anjali? You should at least for now prepare for focus on 11th and 12th. Okay. Sir, once again explain graphs. Yeah. Do not worry about graphs. Okay, sir, once again. Okay. Good afternoon, Tharun. Do not worry about graphs. I just introduced. You should understand that there will be one x-axis, there will be one y-axis, and axis at x and y will be representing the variables. Variables in the equation will be represented at x-axis and y-axis. What is the best way that we need to go, sir? For now, you just enjoy classes, and whatever is taught in the classes, go and revise that. For now, as of now, you are not having any homework. So for now, you just go and revise whatever has been taught in the classes, all the classes, because you are having classes on 6 days in a week. So whatever the concepts told by sir, me or Astik sir, just go and revise that. Right, sir, this is my first class. Do not worry, we will be starting with basics only. So if you miss anything, we will be covering that also in later classes. Okay. So I am seeing that most of the students have joined. So anyone else is having any doubt? Good afternoon, Akhilesh. Does JEE mains are tough exam? No. See, it all depends upon the preparation. Any exam, even the 10th exam. What about 10th? You didn't appear for 10th, right? No. So exams are difficult if you do not prepare well, if you are not having any planning. Okay, if you are not having good hold on basics, if you have not solved the problems, if you have not completed the homework, then the exam will be difficult. We are ready to listen your class. Yes, Deepika. Sir, inter syllabus will be similar. Total marks of JEE main. Right now it is 300. Right now they change every year. Previously it was 360. Right now it is 300 for maths, physics, and chemistry. For EMCT, we should write compulsory JEE mains. See, it is always advisable to write mains. Okay, you will be having better exposure. You will be having good opportunities all over the India. So if you are preparing for JEE mains, most of the concepts and syllabus of the EMCT will already be covered in the syllabus of JEE and mains. So do not worry about EMCT. Okay, you guys will be very smart if you follow the guidelines given by your respective teachers. Okay, just go and finish your homework and revise whatever taught in your classes. Sir, EMCT and JEE mains, the syllabus is almost similar. Okay, the concepts, right? So do not worry about, you do not have to prepare differently or separately for these exams. Good afternoon, beta. Utpreksha. Unique name Utpreksha. I came to know about this name first time. Yes, Avigyal. It is also a unique name for me. Many names I have seen first time. Tanu, good afternoon. Deepak, good afternoon. How many days are completed, sir? No, it's a third class. It's a fourth class, basically. It's a fourth class. And we are doing only Namaste beta, Namaste Artism. Sir, in my sir, which exam we should write for triple IT? Triple IT, it is covered through JEE Mains only. Sir, in my 10th or through the advanced rank list, they prefer the rank list of advanced or the JEE Mains only. Sir, in my 10th syllabus, they removed chemical. एक बार फिर से करना. Chemical bonding chapter in, yes, it is very important. Chemical bonding, we will be studying it in very detail and very important and very interesting chapter. Do not worry about these exams, just focus on the topics and the concept which are taught in your class. For IIT JEE, we should write JEE Advanced. Yes, for IIT, to get admission into IIT, you have to go one step further from JEE Mains. First, you have to clear JEE Mains, then only the qualified students in JEE Mains will be writing JEE Advanced. Start chemical bonding from, yes, I will be starting with basics only. Do not worry. But I will be fulfilling your all demands. You have to solve questions given by us also, right? We will be trying to fulfill all your demands, but you need to follow the guidelines given by us, of course. Great. Sai Charan, yes. The first guideline was come on time. You cannot waste 5 minutes on regular basis. It will be a huge toll in the long term. DPP's problem will be given. Now let us first study the basic concept, which most of you have missed in your 9th and 10th class due to this COVID pandemic. So, sir, are you going to conduct? Yes, this Sunday. Okay, we have to talk with the management and then I will be telling you. So what this mean? DPP means daily practice problem. Okay. See, this process to get selected into JEE and NEET, you have to do hard work on a daily basis. Do not worry, Sai Darshak. You just focus on things while I will be teaching. For 1 more minute, we have to wait. Okay. So, any doubt regarding previous classes? Any doubt? There was few very important terms like Brownian motion, diffusion, surface phenomena, bulk phenomena. Very enthusiastic, sir. So, any doubt regarding previous classes? No problem. Fine. Explain. Graph will be explained. Do not worry about that. Evaporation, condensation. We have discussed. Yes. Good afternoon, Bhavya. Yes, no doubt. Right. So, in today's class, we are going to classify the matter on the basis of chemical properties. Okay. Chemical. It is not very clear line, but we have to discuss now on the basis of chemical properties. So basically we have studied solid, liquid, gas, but in today's lecture we are going to study what are pure substances and what are mixtures. Okay, just let me make I have already drawn a schematic in the previous class. No, I hadn't discussed the electron dot structure. Okay, we will be discussing it later. Just have patience for few classes. On the basis of purity, we are going to divide First is pure substances, and the other one is mixture. In the pure substances, we are going to study elements, then compounds. Okay. These are some basic concepts and basic vocabulary of chemistry. You need to be well versed with all these things. Okay. So go after the class and read these things again and again. Sir, this class is chemistry, continues with MPC class, sir, right? This is chemistry class. This is chemistry class, Babia. Compounds. So in elements, we are going to subdivide it into metals, then non-metals, and after that, there will be metalloids. We will also study this in detail. Then about mixtures, one is homogeneous, and the other one is heterogeneous. Right? Heterogeneous mixture. See, in real life, when we discuss about purity and impurity, we consider that if we are going to buy something from shop, if it says it is a pure substance, then it means it does not consist any harmful substance, right? If we are going to buy milk and it says it is very pure, it means it is not having any harmful substance into it, right? But in chemistry, it is purity and impurity is not decided on the basis of harmfulness. It is just decided on the basis of that whether it consists same type of a fundamental unit or it consists more than one fundamental unit. So if anything consists made up of one type of fundamental unit, then it will be defined as pure substances. They are homogeneous. Homogeneous means throughout the structure, throughout the substance, they will be made up of the single unit, single repeating unit. There will be a single unit which will keep repeating. Okay. And you will not be able to distinguish between two units. That is pure substances. Okay. We will be discussing it in detail after a few minutes. And then mixtures by name, you can see they will be consisting more than one compound or more than one pure substances. Okay. So when we mix more than one substances, okay, then they will be known as mixtures by name. You must have eaten some mixture you must have eaten many mixtures. Okay. So this will be made up of single fundamental unit, right? So there was one more guideline. While I am teaching, do not write on board. Okay. Do not write on chat. I know you guys are having many doubts. Even many of you are having previous knowledge. You have done study in a well manner. But for now, listen to me. And if you are having any doubt when I am asking, then write on chat. Okay. So the pure substance, basically, they are made up of single fundamental unit. But they will be having more than one fundamental unit. By example, if we want to see mixture, you can say if you mix sugar into water, if you mix sugar into water, or if you mix sand into salt, these are our mixtures. Because in case of sugar into water, there are two fundamental units. One thing is water is different, and the sugar is different. Okay. But if we are talking about pure substances, then the examples like iron, carbon, coal, Sir, can you please give the definition? See, you do not require definitions. Do not worry about these things. I'll be providing notes. I'll be sending you these things. But just listen to me and try to comprehend it. These will be made up of single fundamental units. Okay. These are homogeneous substances which consist of same type of particles. Okay. If you want, I can write it, but it will not make any sense. You can write by yourself. You can just remember the examples. You just remember the example and try to, because see, you have already passed the 9th and 10th exam. So they are not going to ask you to write definitions, right? There is no subjective exam is going to happen in which you are supposed to write these things. But the thing is, you need to understand, and these are very basic and very important concepts. So pure substances are those matter which are, see, if your video get blurred, or if you are not able to listen the voice, then check first whether your connection is right or not, right? First check yourself whether your connection is right or not. Okay, so pure substance will be made up of single, these are homogeneous, and these will be of single particles. There will be single particles. Okay, and these can be subdivided into elements and compounds. Okay, so what are elements? They are the basic and simplest example of pure substances made up of single particle which cannot be further subdivided by any method. These cannot be further subdivided. For example, elements Fe, iron, gold, right? Copper is represented by Cu. Fe is iron, right? These are some example of elements. Then O2, oxygen. We all know the importance of oxygen now, right? So this is Fe, gold, copper, and O2. See, nobody is going to ask you how you are going to subdivide or classify these. This is for our understanding. Okay, we can divide it on many fronts, but this is for our understanding only. Okay, so just understand the concept. What is the difference between pure substance and mixtures, right? I'll be listing out everything. Do not worry. Just first understand, try to understand elements. Example, iron, gold, copper, oxygen. Okay, and these can be further divided into metals, non-metals, metallites. So metals, generally, you if I say metal, then you can imagine gold, okay, copper. All of them are having a particular luster. They are hard, they are ductile, they are malleable, right? All these properties. Are you familiar with all these properties? Generally, they are solid. Metals are solid, and if you make their oxides will be basic in nature. Okay, so we will discussing these things in detail, but for now you must understand few terminologies. That first one is element and compound. And what is compound? Compound is it is made up of more than two elements. It is made up of two or more than two elements in a fixed ratio. Okay, when two elements combine in a fixed ratio, there will always a fixed ratio. It will not be decided on the basis of our discretion. Okay, for example, water, H2O. Everyone know H2O. It says it will be having 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. So when 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of hydrogen is combining, then only water will be created. So there is a fixed ratio. Okay, so such types of pure substances which are having more than one element, they will be known as compounds. Other example, CO2, right? So here also you can see carbon and oxygen are combining in the ratio of 1:2. One atom of carbon is going to react with 2 atoms of oxygen. Then only we will be having carbon. Yes, NaCl also, right? NaCl, sodium chloride. See, you all must be aware about how to write a chemical formula. Okay, so whenever you are writing chemical formula, you must write first name, first letter in capital. Okay, so if you are representing the symbol of any element, if you are representing the symbol of any element, you must write first symbol in capital. Then if it is having more than one letter, then the other letter will come in small. So sodium is represented by Na. So N will be capital and N will be capital and A will be small. Similarly, for chlorine, C will be capital and L will be small. So all the examples you are writing, you must write like this. This hydrogen is represented by H and chlorine by Cl. So you have to write like this: C capital and L small, right? BaCl, there is no compound like BaCl. It is BaCl2, right? So if you react one atom of Ba with Cl, there will be no compound. There will BaCl, right? No. It is not the right formula. The right formula is BaCl2. Okay. So just you understand, compounds are the pure substances in which more than one element will get combined in a fixed ratio. Okay. So more than one element, how will you define? More than one element combined in fixed ratio. And once the compound is formed, yes, KOH is also. See, in KOH, O will be capital. In KOH, O will be capital. Okay, stop writing in the chat. Just listen to me. Compounds will be having more than one element. They will be having more than one element. Okay, so one example is sufficient, that is water. So I was talking about metals. These are generally solids. Non-metals, generally gaseous in nature. Metallites, they are solid, but they behave in between. They will be having certain properties of metal. Then they will also be having certain properties of non-metal. Okay, so we will also be knowing few examples of metallites. So do you guys understand what is the meaning of homo and hetero? Do you understand the difference between homo and hetero? Do you understand the difference between homo and hetero? Homo means same and hetero means different. Yes. Okay, so homo means same and hetero means different. So you just homo is single. No. Homo is not single substance. Hetero doesn't mean more than one substance. Homo, just remember, homo means same. Akshaya, just remember, homo means same and hetero means different. Okay, so we will be studying this thing in just a while. Let us first understand the difference between elements and compounds. So you have understood the difference between pure substance and mixtures. Have you understood the difference between pure substance and mixtures? Yes. Anyone is having any doubt? I can repeat it. Anyone is having any doubt between pure substance and mixture? No doubt. So just give me, let me give you few examples and you just differentiate. Have you written this? Is anything made up of? Sir, can you give this? See, do not go. whatever I am teaching, just focus on it. We will be covering each and everything. Okay, so do not go here and there. Okay. Yes, compounds are pure substances. They are made up of more than one element in a fixed ratio. But mixtures, they will be consisting more than one compound or more than one element or one element and compound in any ratio. And I'll write the difference between both of these, pure compound and mixtures. Compounds other one is mixture, right? एक ऐसा आप टेल बना लो, just draw this. We have taken screenshot. Great. First thing, on the basis of nature, more than one element combine chemically. Okay, on the basis of nature, more than one element or compounds mixed physically. You have collected sand. You have collected sand and mixed it with the sugar. Okay. Yes, Anil. Okay. You have collected the sand and mixed it with sugar. So just you have mixed it up, right? There is no reaction in between them. So it is mixture. Structure की अगर हम बात करें, we are going to study the structures of compound. Structure, they will be having fixed structures. Okay, in the later classes we will be understanding how they are getting fixed structure. See, each and every compound will be having fixed structure, right? But it depends upon our method of mixing and amount of mixing. So they will not be having any definite structures. They will not be having any definite structure. Composition. As I have told you, they will always be combined in a fixed ratio. Okay, in a fixed ratio, elements in a fixed ratio, always fixed ratio. Nothing like that here. Okay, you can mix it in any ratio depending upon your taste, depending upon your demand, depending upon your requirement. Like if you want to prepare if you want to prepare a glucose solution, so on depending upon your need, you can add as much as glucose into your solution. Okay, someone might like 1 chammach, 1 spoon. Telugu lo Chepandi sir. Anil, I am very new to Telugu. I am learning it. So I hope you will help me to understand and you will help me to learn few words in Telugu. So I will be speaking for a while in English. Okay. So it will be the elements, those are forming the compound will always be in fixed ratio. But in this case, in any manner, depends upon your discretion. If you want to add one spoon of sugar, you add 1 spoon. If you want more sweetness, then you add 2. Okay, but here it will not be happening like this. So these three differences you write, then I'll be writing next. The very important is properties. Let's say H2O, let's say water. Water is an example of compound. Water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. But once the water is formed, see, water is formed from hydrogen and oxygen. It gives water, right? So the equation is not balanced yet. But if you see, these two things are gaseous. But if water is formed at room temperature, it will be in liquid in nature. So the properties of the ingredients, properties of the ingredients will not remain intact, will not be shown by the forming compound. So compound will not show the properties of its elements from which it is formed. Are you getting my point? Properties of constituent element cannot be observed. They are gone, right? Once a compound is formed, the individualness is gone. But in case of mixture, if you are adding sugar, then it will be sweet. Okay. If you are adding salt, then it will be salty. Properties, the ingredient, the elements through which we are preparing compound, their properties will not carry forward. Okay. If they are having, for example, hydrogen is gaseous in nature. So it is not necessary that water will also be gaseous in nature. Okay. Are you getting my point? Write it. I'll explain it once again. So they do not retain their properties. Compounds do not retain their properties. They retain properties of constituents. If any mixture is prepared from two substances, so that mixture will be having properties of the both substances, right? So they will be retaining the properties of constituent substances or compounds through which they are prepared. First thing is, you must have few examples in your mind. Mixture is simple. Anyone can prepare mixture. You can at your home prepare any innumerous number of mixtures. You take two things and mix them. Okay. You take flour and mix it with rice. You take rice, mix it with pulse. Okay. But just stay away from your mother. If you are doing this kind of activities, then I am sure you will be having few rewards from your mother, right? But you can do such kind of activities. You can mix any two things, right? You can mix water with salt. You can mix water with soil. Okay, you can mix soil and salt. So this mixture is very simple thing. But compound, to prepare a compound, you need expertise. Everyone cannot prepare a compound. It requires certain apparatus, certain method. Okay, and even knowledge that in which ratio we have to mix them up, right? So is it okay till now? Is it okay? So write it. I'll be writing two more differences between the two. I will be writing two more differences. So in your mind, you must have few examples. Compound, for compound, you are having example like H2O, NaCl. This is glucose, C6H12O6. So it's a fix. If you go in Pakistan, if you go in America, if they say bring sucrose or bring glucose, then they are saying you should bring C6H12O6. But if you go anywhere and they ask you to prepare salty solution, so it depends upon your practice, how much salt you are going to add. You have to ask to them how much sugar you need, how much salt you need, right? So their things are not fixed. Okay, they are not fixed. And in these cases, this is important point, properties. They will not be retaining the properties of the constituent particles. Water, H2O, will not be having any property of hydrogen as well as any property of oxygen. They will be having altogether different properties. Okay, they will not be showing any resemblance with hydrogen or oxygen, right? In fact, sugar, it will not be showing any property of carbon. Okay, is that clear? Shall we move ahead? How will you separate compounds into its constituent elements? How will you separate? How will you separate? Separation. It requires chemical method. Chemical method. You require chemical method. Expertise is required. You can do this to separate hydrogen and oxygen. No, filtration will not work. In case of compound, heating might work. If you want to separate hydrogen and oxygen, you have to create a model or a project or a apparatus in which process can be carried out. It's not so easy to separate these things. But mixture, they can be separated by physical methods, filtration and all. Filtration, chromatography. There are many methods. Okay. Evaporation, distillation. These methods will work over here. Evaporation, distillation, solubility, sedimentation, condensation. These are hand picking. Yes, hand picking will work over here in mixture, right? So mixtures are simple compounds, simple combination of compounds in any ratio. So you have mixed them. You can also separate them, right? The other thing, very important thing, energy. Another important aspect is energy. During the preparation of compound, it is mandatory that either the heat will be absorbed or heat will be released. Did you get my point? Either heat will be released, released. You need to remember a new term, that is exothermic. Such processes are known as exothermic. Okay, heat will be released. Then such processes are known as exo. Exo means out. Exo means out. Right? Or if heat is not released, then heat will be absorbed. Such processes are known as endothermic. Endothermic. Right? Endo means in. So heat either during the process. For example, combustion of carbon. Right? Combustion of carbon gives us CO2, carbon dioxide. So in the formation of carbon dioxide from carbon, heat is released, and using that heat only we are preparing food at our home, right? So during the formation of CO2 from the carbon or from the LPG or from CNG, heat is always released. Okay, so is it clear? But in case of mixture, you have just mixed pulse and rice, you will see there is no change in temperature. Okay, if you are dissolving NaCl into water, you will see there is no change in temperature. So neither, no change in heat, ऐसा बोल सकते हो आप, neither heat is released, heat will be released or absorbed. So these are some important points. Write it them, then we will move ahead. Is it clear for now? Is it clear? And the visibility of board is better than yesterday. Visibility of board clear, right? So these are some very simple concepts. Okay, in chemistry of 11th and 12th, rarely we will be dealing with these things. We will be majorly dealing with compounds only, right? Sir, we are taking a screenshot. Okay. You are a student of 21st century. I can understand that. But after taking the screenshot, please, after the finishing your class, do see them once, at least once. Okay. However simple things are, you must revise them so that your foundation become strong. So shall we move ahead? Shall we move ahead? Let us study homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. See, homogeneous is a mixture in which two compounds or more than two compounds. Okay. So while writing, try to ensure that all the concepts get clear. What happens when H2SO4 mixed with water? When H2SO4 is mixed with water, in that case, generally heat is released. Okay, but there is no formation of separate compound. Ions will be generated. Okay, ions will be generated, right? H2SO4 will dissociate into its ions. So that's a different process. That's a dissociation. That's a type of reaction. Basically, it's a type of reaction in which, so it is not forming any mixture. If you are adding H2SO4 into water, it is an example of different kind of compound. Okay, so it will not come under mixture. So should we write the notes in classwork? You can write for now. Okay, but in later classes when we will be studying topics of 11th and 12th, in that cases we will be providing you notes. So try to understand the concept. Okay, so next thing is mixture, and it's homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous. See, if you have mixed two things, for example, if you have mixed sugar into water, and I have told you in the first and second class, if you add sugar into water, sugar goes into the spaces or the gas present between the water. And after mixing the sugar, you are not able to find out the particles of the sugar in the solution. Even with the powerful microscope, you will not be able to find out the particle of sugar. Okay, so such kind of mixtures are known as homogeneous mixtures. Okay, such kind of mixture in which you are not able to separate in which you are not able to distinguish between the two or more added compounds. Okay, you are not able to differentiate between the constituent compounds, then those kind of mixtures will come in the list of homogeneous. Sir, are they here in our case they are more or like transparent. You are not able to distinguish where is water molecule and where is sugar molecule. If you add salt into it, then also case will remain the same. In that case also you will not be able to find out the NaCl molecule and water molecule. Okay, milk and water. Yes, milk and water will also form homogeneous. First and most important is air. So in homogeneous mixture, after the mixing, you will be having only one state. Okay, one phase. There will be no clear separation. Can you explain homogeneous? There will be no clear separation between there will be no boundary, definite boundary between the two or more mixed compounds. You are mixing A and B, and after the mixing, you are not able to find out where is A, where is B. Then such kind of mixtures will come under homogeneous. Right? Is it clear, Utpreksha? Is it clear? For example, air. Okay. With your eyes, even with the powerful microscope, you will not able to figure that where is nitrogen and where is oxygen. Okay. The atmosphere is consist of nitrogen, oxygen, as well as argon, CO2. But with our eyes, we are not able to distinguish which molecule is air and which molecule is nitrogen and which one is oxygen. So such kind of mixtures are known as homogeneous. Air is a mixture of, it is a homogeneous mixture of various gases such as O2, N2. See, there is only one type of atom. So it is element. This is also element. You have mixed two elements. That is why it is known as mixture. And they are not reacting with each other. Okay, so there will not be any reaction. No release of energy. Okay, so O2, N2 or other argon, helium. Okay, so such kind of mixtures are known as homogeneous. Or example, this is air in air. Okay, or solid in liquid. You add NaCl or salt into water. And another example told by someone, water and milk. Okay, water and milk is also another example. Cold drink you see, in cold drink there is CO2, pressurized CO2. Okay, what is not soluble? In heterogeneous, there is also alloy. Alloys, they are also homogeneous. If you buy tamba, do you understand tamba? Have you seen bronze? The bronze medal awarded in the Olympics. That bronze medal is made up of copper and tin. You will not be able to differentiate between copper and tin elements, right? So this is an example of homogeneous mixture. But in heterogeneous, with your naked eyes, you will be able to differentiate between the two constituent. Yes, oil and water is an example. Oil and water, there will be clear separation, clear boundary between two constituent particles. Right? You are mixing pencil and pen. You mix it. This is also an example of this is also an example of mixture. You will be able to pick up pen and pencil, right? By your you can see a different clear separation, right? Stone and rice, oil in water. Example kya hai? Oil in water. You will see when you add petrol or oil in water, there will be a clear separation between the two liquids. The clear separation tells us that it is an example of heterogeneous mixture. Other example is stone in rice, right? Stone in rice. So these are very small things, very basic things. Okay, if you want to write it, and in other case we can move ahead. Alloy means alloy is a mixture in which two metals are mixed, right? Two metal, they are first liquefied, and they get mixed and then solidified. Alloy, for example, I told you bronze, you must have heard brass. There is one example, brass. It contains copper and zinc, two elements. Okay, they are not reacting with each other, they are just mixing it up. We are going to study colloid, suspension and solution. Do not worry, maybe in next class. So what I am telling, whatever is taught on the board, if you have any doubt, ask me. So is it clear? Shall we move ahead? Shall we move ahead? So you have understood homogeneous and heterogeneous? Anyone is having? It is clear. Very basic things, but important, very important, because I am teaching since 7 years. And what I have found that students are able to understand the concept of 11th and 12th, but because of their poor foundation, they are not able to score good. Okay, so it is very important that you should be clear with these terms, terminology. Then chemistry will become an easy subject, and it is one of the most scoring subject, whether it is NEET or JEE. In both the exams, the chemistry subject is most easiest. It is going to give you highest number of marks. Okay, so before going into the 11th and 12th, we must understand such small things. So do you understand the difference between metals and non-metals? Do you understand the difference between metals and non-metals? So do you guys want me to write the difference between metals and non-metals? Any one of you? Shall I write the difference between metals and non-metals? Why sorry? Metal, right? These comes under metal, and non-metals comes under metal, and non-metal comes under pure substance, right? So first of all, first thing, state, right? Generally metals, you will see, if you imagine any metal, you will find it that they exist in solid state. Okay, so generally solid. Any exceptions? Hg is metal which found in liquid. Okay, and sometimes if you see germanium at around room temperature 35 degrees Celsius, it is also found in liquid state. Okay, so gallium, sorry, I have told 35 डिग्री सेल्सियस पर ये आपको लिक्विड स्टेट में मिलेगा. Mercury is also in liquid. This is mercury only. Hg is mercury. Okay. Non-metals. Normally, if you remember, if you can recall any non-metal, they will be in gaseous state. है ना? Exception, जैसे आयोडीन आपका सॉलिड होता है. Then bromine exists in liquid state. So these are exceptions, right? These are not examples. These are exceptions. Okay, sulfur also exists in solid state. Sulfur, phosphorus also exist in solid state. Okay, so there are few examples which exist in solid state, but generally most of the non-metals, for example nitrogen, oxygen, they all exist in gas state. So if you found any element, in gas state, okay, at room temperature, then 110% it is going to be non-metal. Okay, as they are solid, their melting and boiling point high, काफी ज्यादा होता है. If you want to convert iron, number of metals and number is not important. Total elements are around 115, more than 115. And if you go and check your periodic table, then total elements are around 115, and out of them most of them are metals. Around 92-93 elements are metals, come under this category. So metal dominates the chemistry. They are in majority. They are more than 90. Okay, out of 115, you can say out of 115, they are around 90 or more than 90. Non-metals, they are boiling and melting point low, as they are in gaseous state already. Right? If you see, it is already in liquid state. It is also in liquid state. So except these two, all other metals will be having high melting point. See, I am not telling exact number because every year it is going to change and nobody is going to ask Naveen. So I am just telling it is around 115. MP and BP means melting point and boiling point. Melting point and boiling point. Luster. Particular luster. All of them will be having a shiny surface. Okay, particular luster. Do not have particular luster. Particular luster. Exception, diamond. If you see diamond is an example of non-metal. Diamond is made up of carbon, but it has particular luster. Iodine, it is also having particular luster. So diamond, except diamonds. So this is also exception, bro. This is also exception, and this is also exception. Except diamond, right? And there are also iodine. They do have certain shiny surface. Okay. There are two terms. First one is malleability and other one is ductility. So malleability, you can say malleability is a property through which you can convert any compound or any substance into sheets, plain sheets. If you are able to convert it into sheets, then it is known as that compound or element is malleable in nature. Malleability, important property is malleability. Ability to get converted into sheets. Yes, they do have. They are malleable, not malleable. You cannot prepare sheets from non-metals. So they are not malleable. Okay. So they are not malleable. They are, yes. If you want to convert, if you want to prepare, or if you want to manufacture wires, in that case, the term is used ductility. The term is ductility. Ductility is ability to get drawn into wires. अगर आप वायर्स बना सकते हो तो उस प्रॉपर्टी को हम डक्टिलिटी बोलते हैं. Yes, they are ductile in nature. They are ductile in nature. Okay. If you want to prepare wires, you have seen copper wire, you have seen copper wire, like aluminum wire. You must have seen these kind of examples. Wires. You can prepare wires from metals, but ductility in this case, no, they do not show this property. So till now, everything is clear. So if you stretch sulfur and what, sulfur are metal or non-metal? Sulfur are metal or non-metal? Sulfurs are non-metal. They are non-metal. So if you want to draw them into sheets, no, it is not possible. If you want to draw them into wires, no, you cannot draw the, you cannot prepare sulfur and phosphorus. You cannot. They are example of non-metal. You cannot draw wires and sheets. No, you cannot. Right? Not possible. So there are other properties. If you have taken screenshot of this, sir, all metals have yes. See, you cannot prepare sheets of mercury. It is already in liquid state. How will you prepare sheets of this? So we are talking in general. In general, you can take any metal. If you want to prepare sheets of sodium, this is not possible to prepare sheets from sodium because they are soft metal. But in general, most of the metal are going to give you sheets, right? Density, high density, high, very high. As they are in gaseous state, the density is low. Density is low density. If you see, generally a non-metal, if you want to compare metal and non-metal, generally metals have 6 to 7 times higher density than non-metal, 6 to 7 times. Okay, but there are some soft metal also. Soft metals like sodium, potassium, you can cut them with knife. Soft metal. Sodium is Na and potassium is K. So you can cut them with the knife. Can we make sheets of iodine? No, you cannot, because it is non-metal. You cannot make sheets of iodine. It is brittle in nature, brittle. Okay, so there is another property, that is hardness. Sonority. So these are some basic properties you must know. Conductivity. Hardness. Very hard. But there are some soft metal. There are also some soft metal. Sodium, potassium. Okay. They are brittle in nature. Do you understand the term by brittle? If you put a force on non-metal, they will get converted into powder. Okay, so they will get converted into powder. Then that kind of nature is known as brittle. If there is an example, if you put force on coal, so coal will get converted into powder. So this is known as brittleness. But there are some hard non-metals, except diamond is the hardest among all. If someone asks the hardest compound or element, then that is diamond. Then there are silicon compound, silica or silicon compound. They are very hard. For now, only write diamond. Diamond is very hard. Then sonority. Someone is writing sonority. If you put force on non-metal, they will not give you any sound. So for now, we can stop here. There are other properties like conductivity. So metals are very nice conductor. For example, Ag is the best conductor. Okay, Ag. Ag, do you know what is Ag? If someone asks the best conductor of the electricity, then the answer is silver, right? Silver is the best conductor of electricity. Okay, but they do not conduct electricity. Any metal, any non-metal which conducts electricity? Any non-metal which conducts electricity? Yes, there is one. Graphite. Graphite conducts electricity. Graphite conducts electricity. It is a example of, it is an example of allotrope of carbon. It is made up of carbon. So graphite conducts electricity. So there are certain one or two exceptions. Otherwise, more or less we have covered what is the difference between metals and non-metal. So any doubt? Shall we put end to this class? How was your class? How was your class? Was it informative? Yes, time is over. I know. We will be discussing the structure of graphite in later classes, as well as structure of diamond in the later classes. I came to know that mathematics sir has told you a very beautiful story about diamond. So we will be discussing it. It was nice, informative. Okay, great. So we will be meeting tomorrow. Okay, just go and revise all these things and try to find other differences between metal and non-metals. Yes, sir, today's class. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Let us meet tomorrow. Okay, guys. Thanks. Bye. Bye.